Hey, what's going on guys? Welcome back to another video. So in this video, I will show you how you can quickly transform Figma design into a development ready React application code using Anima app. We will build a portfolio website from Figma design to React code, and we will see each step how to transform the design into code in no time. So if this sounds interesting, then stick around. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon so that you don't miss the videos like this one. So let's get started. Alright guys, so this is the Figma design which we are going to use, and we are going to convert this Figma design into a working React code using the application called Anima. So let's go through the Figma design and explore the design first. So I'm going to go here, portfolio template, and in the portfolio template, this is the design that we are going to work on. So let me zoom it a little bit, and here you will see that we have a header where we have the logo and we have the menu items like about, work, contact. So this is the banner, and below the banner we have the brands, and after that we have some section where we have the work and then the latest work, and below that we have the clients and let's a contact form. So this is a simple Figma design, and we now have to convert this Figma design into a working React code, and we will see how we can do that with the help of Anima. And we are going to have two layouts. So this one is a desktop layout and the other one is the mobile layout. So this is the mobile layout which will be activated when we have a viewport of 375 pixel or less than that. So here also it's the same design, but it will get automatically adjusted the components and the elements which will be best suited for the mobile devices. So there are two ways if we want to use the Anima Pro. So first is we can install a plugin in the Figma and then we can use it. So here are some of the steps, though I'm going to click on this link, and here you will see that we have a plugin. We can install the plugin and then use it in the Figma design directly, but I'm not going to take that route. I'm going to go to the Anima application, and inside the application I'm going to upload my Figma design, and then I'm going to create the React website from that Figma design. And in the end, when we are done with this project, how it's going to look, it's let's click on this and we are going to see the sample project. So this is the sample project you will see, and I'm going to scroll it. Then you will see that it is exactly the design we have in the Figma, and we can build this website in React. So what I'm going to do is let's close this and I will go back here. So now let's go to the Anima and what this Anima is all about. So I'm going to go on the home page, and on the home page it says that it just converts the design into the code, and that code can be an HTML code, it can be a React code, it can be a Vue code. You will see that they also support different JavaScript frameworks like React, Vue, or if you don't want to use any of the framework, you can simply use the HTML, CSS and JavaScript. They are soon going to release the Angular and the TypeScript version, and if I scroll down, then we will see that they have a very beautiful way of transforming the design into a development flow, and then you can also do the responsive and interactive prototypes. So the better you have prototype established in the Figma designs, it will be converting exactly as it is into your application code. So let's go to the Anima Pro, and I'm going to log in first. So I will click on the login, and you will see that I am already logged in. So I already have an account with it, and this is the dashboard I'm going to see. So now what I'm going to do here is that here all my projects will be listed, and I want to create a new project. So let me click on a new project, and let's give a name of the project as portfolio website. So I'm going to have a portfolio website. All right, then I'm going to click on the create project, and this is going to create the project. Now once we have created the project, it gives me two options. Either I can use the plugin which can be used in my Figma, and then I can create and upload the assets, or what I can do is I can do a quick import of my design. So I'm going to take this route. I'm going to click on the import, and now I can import it from the Figma, or I can import it from this sketch. So I have a Figma design open here and I want to import it. So I'm going to copy this URL and I'm going to come here and I will just paste my URL. So when I paste my URL and I click on the import, what Anima is going to do is it's going to import the complete design along with the assets, and then it's going to upload those assets on their Amazon S3 bucket. So let's click on the import first, and now it's getting all the file details and every details in the Figma design. So if if we go back in the design, like all the images, all the visuals, text, font sizes, the design, and every of the content which is available on this Figma design. And now we see that there are total 4 frames that have been found. So if we go back here, and the first frame is this one, the complete desktop view. The second frame is the this one, the mobile view, and there are some other two as well, which is the cover page. So we are not interested in this cover page. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go here and I will only select these two portfolio templates. So I'm going to remove this. I don't need the cover as well. I only need the portfolio template, which is the desktop version and the mobile version. So let's click on the import Figma file. So it's going to take some time. It's going to build all the screens, all the components, and then it's going to upload all the assets to their Amazon. So it's pretty safe and very fast. I mean, all the assets are uploaded on the Amazon S3 bucket. So while fetching these assets from the Amazon S3 bucket, it will be very fast. All right, so now you can see that the upload is completed and we have the two screens. The first screen is a desktop view, which is on the resolution of 1280 pixel, and the second one is a mobile view, which is 375 pixel. And if we click on the component side, we don't have any component yet. So let's go back on the screen, and here you will see that if you want to play this prototype, you can actually play the prototype. So let me click on this play prototype, and that is going to play the complete prototype of the application. So now this is how the application looks. So if I scroll down, then you will see that this is the complete application. All right, and now if you want to see the prototype of the desktop view, then we can simply switch it from here. So I'm going to click here, and now this is going to give me the desktop view. So that's how it is, and that's beautiful. The platform is that it gives you every aspect of your design, and you can convert the design into the code very easily. So this is how it looks, and what we will do is I'm going to go back here. All right, so now there are many options available here. The next one is the code mode, where we are going to see the actual code which is generated by the Anima app. And then the third option is we can also import a new file, we can share the project, and then there is some project settings. So we are not interested in the project settings. Let's go on the code mode. So I'm going to click here. So when we click on the code mode, the first thing we see that it asks us few options and which framework we want to select. So by default, it's going to generate an HTML code, but we are not interested in the HTML code. We want a React code. So I'm going to select the React as a framework. And then we also need to select some options on the styling part. So you need a plain CSS or a style components or Sass. So I'm going to keep it simple. I will choose a plain CSS. I'm not interested in any style components or the Sass. And then the syntax is you need a function based components or you need a class based components. Since function components are the modern way of working in the React application, so what I'm going to do is I will keep it with the functions. So now I'm going to click on this change to React, and it's going to convert this application into a React application. So now let's go, and I'm going to select the desktop view first. All right, I have the desktop view. And now as soon as I clicked on this logo section, which is the header part, then you will see that there is a code generation on the bottom. So there is a JSX. So let me zoom a little bit. All right, so here you will see that we have a JSX part. Then this is the CSS of the equivalent div which I have selected. So I have only selected this part, so that's why the CSS is only for this part. And then there is some style guide. It has created some automatic root variables so that we can have a theming part in the future for our application. Now the other thing which I want to show is that we can have a different type here. We are not interested in the element type, we need components. So I'm going to select the components because our React application is completely based out of components. So this is the top bar. Now in this way, what you can do is either you can directly copy the component code and then you can create your own React application and then use this piece of code into your application, or what we can do is we can also do some selection. So now I'm going to select this one. So now it will show me the JSX of the banner part. So this is the header banner, which is the selected part, but we will need to export the complete code of the page. So what I will do is I'm going to select the main div. So this is the main div, and now this main div, if you see, then what it returns is the component which has the x1280 pixels. So the naming conventions are very weird, but it's mostly the naming conventions are based on whatever the file name or the type we are having. So but we can change this. So what I'm going to do here is that we need a components, and what actually this component takes as a prop. So here you will see that there is a prop data which is x1280 pixel data. So if I click on this view, then here you will see that we have the all the information related to the props that are being used on this component. So here is the prop, and I'm going to scroll down, and here you will see that that's a long list of the props that we are using. So each of the text which was available on the design is considered as a prop. So we can also do that. This naming convention is not looking good, so we can change the names here. Okay, so what I can do here is that I can change this name. So I'm going to change the name, and I'm going to give it as a desktop view component. All right, and when I change here, you will see that the now my component name is changed. So now the component name is desktop view component. So this customization is also available, and this customization is really going to help us if we want the application code to be a level of production. You don't have to manually change the name of each of the component. Once you export the code, you can directly do it here, and you can give all the relevant names which you want. So if this is the brand image making, this one, then I'm going to I can easily change this, and I can give the name as a brand name. So I will change this to brand name or brand name text. All right, so now this will get changed to the brand name text. All right, and now we can do the same thing for our mobile version as well. So I'm going to go here, and I'm going to select the mobile version, and here you will see that I'm going to select this first, and then I will select the complete div, which is containing the whole page. And here you will see that we have this naming convention. So let's change this. So I'm going to change this, and I will add it here like this, and let's make this as mobile view component. So I'm going to change this to a mobile view component. All right, and I'm going to keep the brand name as it is. I'm not going to change. So we already got the essence what we can do with the props view. All right, and now we can also do a play here, and that play will actually help us to give a browser preview. So let's select the desktop version first, and then I'm going to click on the play, and this play will actually show us how your application is going to look when you download the code and you run the code. So this is how we want it, and since we don't have any interaction on the page, so that's why we are not going to have any kind of an interaction when we export the complete code. So here we now have the code. We already know that we can have the individual component, or we can also have an individual element, or we can have the complete div or complete component, or the JSX of the complete page. All right, so now it's time to export the code, and let's see what actually we get, what code we actually get when we export it. So I'm going to go here, and there is an option of the export code. So I'm going to click on the export code, and a good thing is that when you want to export the code, you have multiple options. You can either do the current screen, which is only going to export the code of the current screen, or you have the selection, which will give us the code only for the selected div which we have. So for me, I need a full project. So I'm going to click on the full project, and then I can download the full project as a zip. So let me click on this download project as a zip. So it's going to take some time. All right, now the code is ready. I have already downloaded, and if I open this, so now you will see that this is the code that I have exported, and now I'm going to click on, and I'm going to unzip it. All right, the code is unzipped. What I will do is I'm going to just open this in the Visual Studio Code. So let me open the Visual Studio Code. All right, so I have the Visual Studio Code, and then I'm going to open it. So let me zoom it a little bit. All right, I will click on the open, and I have it in my downloads folder. So I'm going to select this, and I'm going to click on the open. All right, so now my Visual Studio Code is open, and here we can see all the code that is auto generated from the Anima Pro. And let's go to the code one by one. So this is the index.js. So it's had a pretty standard code of an app component, and we have an get element by ID with the help of an app. All right, and this app will be in the index.html, which is this one. Then we have a global CSS. So this is the global CSS of the application, throughout the application. And then if we go here, then we have an style guide. So these are all the variables, CSS variables, that we are going to use and which will help us in the theming for the application. We have a package JSON. It is a pretty standard. We have some dependencies, and we have the React. It's using the 18.1.0. Then we have the React Router DOM. So it's still using the old React Router DOM, which is the React Router DOM version 5. So that's one thing we noticed, that Anima Pro doesn't gives us a React Router DOM of version 6, so that we have to do manually. And then we have a React DOM, which is the 18.1.0. Then we have some dev dependencies, which is a parcel. So parcel actually helps us to have a great development experience, and we don't need to do any configuration. So it's a zero configuration development tool. Then if we go to the app.jsx, so in the app.jsx we see that we have imported the React Router DOM. All right, since our application is not having any kind of a routing, but if we see, then what it has done is it has given two routes. One route is for the desktop and the other route is for the mobile view. But in general, this is not the one which we are going to use. So what I will do is, for now, I will not comment it. I will first show you how it looks, and then I'm going to comment this out. All right. And then if I see here, then we see that we have two components: mobile view component and a desktop view component. Then we have default app export, and these are all the objects which has been created for images and everything. And this is the complete props part. So these all are props that are being passed in the mobile view component as a data, because the page has a lot of data about the text and everything. So this is how they have created a prop of it, and then they pass this prop in the component. So if we have this mobile view component, then we have the mobile view component data. Similarly, if we have a desktop view component, then we have a desktop view component data. So if I scroll down, then we will see that we have another. This one is the desktop view component data. All right, and then if we go to the app.css, then I see it's a blank. Then there is some configuration, parcel configuration. We are not interested in it. And if we go to the static, then here are some of the static assets which are required for the application. So in the images, we will see all the images, static images. All right, so these are all the static images. And then if we go to the components, then here you will see that we have the components, and these are all the components which we actually saw in the Anima Pro app. So if I go back in the browser, then here you will see that if I go to the Anima Pro, I will close this. And if I want a card component, so if I click on this, then we should be able to see a card component. So I'm going to click on the component, and here you will see that we have a card component. So this is now being downloaded when we downloaded the whole project. So if I go back, then you will see that we have a card component for 376. So whatever 376 is written is that these component belongs to the mobile view component. Since the naming convention is not so good, that's why we are a little bit confused what this card 376 is and what this card 1280 is. All right. And then we have the desktop view component, which is our component. We will have a very similar mobile view component. Now let's try to run this application. We will not go into each of the detail of the components, since it's auto generated, and we will only go to the components which we are actually going to use it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the terminal. I will open a new terminal, and I will just use the npm install. So I will have the npm install, and now this is going to install my dependencies for the project. So we have to wait for some time so that all the dependencies get installed. All right, so I see that all the dependencies are installed, and now the next thing we need to do is let's start the application. So I'm going to have the npm start. All right, but before doing the npm start, I will go to the package JSON and I will just see what happens. So when I do the npm start, it's going to start a parcel index.html. So let's hit enter. All right, and you will see that immediately it will start my local server at localhost 1234. So I'm going to copy this, and let's go to the browser. All right, and here on the browser what we can do is I'm going to add it here, and let's hit the enter, and you will see that it's a working React application code. And if I scroll down, then we will see that we have all the assets, all the data, and everything as it is the Figma design. So if we go to the Figma design and if we start comparing it with, so this is the Figma design, and this is the application code which we have. This is the React application which we are running on the local host, so it looks exactly the same. Since in our Figma design we did not have any click functionality or any click prototypes, so that's why we don't have any of the link in our application working. So that is the reason. All right, so it's always that the better we have the Figma design and all the prototype and the functionalities, clicks and everything, navigation works well, then we are going to get a better React code using the Anima Pro. All right, so let's go back, and now we will see about the React routing. So if I go here, and then we have another route which is the /375px. So let's go to that route and let's see what happens. So I'm going to go 375px, and you will see that this is the mobile view. So we don't need this routing because no one is going to go to a different route to view the mobile view. So what we can do is we can use an npm package of a React responsive. So if I go to npm React responsive, so let me zoom in a little bit. All right, and I'm going to click here. So this is going to give me a responsive breakpoint. So I'm going to copy this and I will install this. So let's go back to our code. I'm going to close the dev server. All right, so I have stopped the server, and now I'm going to install the React responsive. So I'm going to have this npm installed React responsive, and I'm going to hit enter. So this is going to install the React responsive package. And what we can do here is that if we want to understand more about the React responsive package, then we can go to the browser. So let me go back to the browser, and here we will see that it gives us the media queries, and then using the media query hook we can decide the breakpoints. So I'm going to use that same, and let's go back. So I'm going to go to the code. All right, and since our application is not having any design for the tablet view, so that is a missing. So we should have a mobile view, tablet view, and a desktop view. So I will just comment this out since we are not going to use this. So I will comment this out, and instead of this, what I'm going to do here is that I'm going to introduce a fragment. So let me have an empty fragment, and inside the empty fragment what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a condition of rendering. So I will have that is desktop view. So if we have this is desktop view as true, and then what we will do is in that case we want to render our desktop view component. So I'm going to copy this and I will add it here. All right, and if it is not the case, then in that case what I have to do is I'm going to copy this again, right? I will add it here, and instead of the desktop view I'm going to change this to mobile view. So let me have the mobile view. In that case I'm going to copy this. All right, and I will add it here. All right, so now we have the conditional rendering, and now what we have to do is we have to define the breakpoints. So we are going to define the breakpoints with the help of a React responsive. So I'm going to have an import here. So let me import. So I'm not going to import it here. Let me import it on top. All right, I will import use media query, and this will be coming from the React responsive. So let me have the React responsive. All right, and if I go to the package JSON, then I have the React responsive as well. Okay, so let's go back here, and we have the React responsive now. And what I will do is I'm going to create a constant here. So let me have a constant and is desktop view. Then for that I need a media query, and I will have an object here, and I'm going to give a minimum width. So let me have a min width of 700. So I'm just giving some random numbers because I don't have the design for different breakpoints. So I'm just going to give a random width of the screen so that we can see that we are able to switch on both the desktop and the mobile as well. All right, then I'm going to have a constant is mobile view, and this is going to use the media query. And for here what I will have is I'm going to have an object with a maximum width. So let me have a max width, and this will be a 700. All right, I will save it, and now let's go and try. So I'm going to run this application again. So let me have an npm start. I made a mistake, so it should be npm start, and it's going to start the local environment. All right, and now let's go and try. So I'm going to copy this. Let's go to the browser, and here I'm going to refresh. So here if I remove this, then we should be able to see the application, and let's give a try on the /375 pixel as well. But on /375 pixel also we see the same. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and do the inspect, and on the inspect, if I go less than 700, then I should see the mobile view. So let me go back. Then you will see that now as soon as I go less than 700, then I will switch to the mobile view. So I am running my application on a zoom mode, so that's why you see a little bit different. So this is now we see the mobile view, and if we increase the width size, we will go to the desktop view. All right, so that's how pretty good the Anima Pro is. It actually gives you a development ready code, and you can make the changes on the code if you want to speed up your development part. So now what you can do is you have this code. Now you can extend the code for your production ready application. You can introduce the functionality, because Anima Pro is only going to give you the designs part and not the actual logic or the functionality which you want to build on top of it. So for the base, for the start, I think it's a good platform to get you the complete application code, and then you build on top of that for your production ready application. So that's all I have in this video. That's all I wanted to show you, how you can convert your Figma designs into your React application development ready code in no time using the Anima Pro platform. So I hope you liked the video. Thumbs up is appreciated. You can also connect with me via Facebook or Instagram. You can follow me on Twitter for latest updates. And before you go guys, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon so that you don't miss the videos like this one. Thank you. Thanks for watching.